UFC 311 predictions, full card breakdown. Let's go. Islam Makhachev versus Arman Tsarukyan. And now I really want to go with Arman Tsarukyan as the underdog in this fight. But the problem is that I don't see him finishing Islam Makhachev. In fact, I'd put money on him not betting and not winning via finish. So I'll have to go with Islam Makhachev just purely off Arman not getting a decision even if he wins 3 rounds. So that's always a factor. But like, as Arman, you've got to think about it this way. Volkanovski gave Islam Makhachev his hardest fight out of anyone. And he struggled like fuck. And everyone talks about the stature of Volk. Arman Tsarukyan is the exact same size, but bigger. And I think he's like a tad bit taller. I think he's like 5'6", maybe 5'7", with a much longer reach. I think he's got like a 74, 73 inch reach. That's mental. That's Conor McGregor reach. Like, Arman is... People are just going, oh, Islam's going to win, but it'll be a close fight. I don't think it'll even be that, you know. I think it's going to be a razor close fight, which can go either way. Arman's got good scrambling ability up to his feet. His reversals are amazing. His takedown defense is also amazing. I watched the Gamrot fight last night, and it was a great fight. By the way, the Gamrot fight should have went to Arman Tsarukyan. He won 3 rounds. Simple as that. I don't know anyone who's watched that fight and didn't think Arman won. So that's also a factor. Because I keep seeing Islam people, like fans, keep going, oh yeah, well he lost to Gamrot, so he's going to lose to Islam. But that just isn't the case. And Islam's not looked too dominant. You've got to think about it. Like, he's not looked too dominant. Yeah, he's beating the division, but he's not looking dominant while doing so. It's a little bit like Pantoja. People who've not watched his fight just say he's dominating the division, but he's not. He's having close fights with every single person. So, with Islam, he had a close fight with Poirier. It was 2-2 going into the very last round. And he got the Darce choke, which was an amazing finish. No one is saying that isn't an amazing finish. He definitely has the heart to win, to get like a last round finish over Arman Tsarukyan. He had a razor close fight with Volk in the first fight. And Islam is stronger as well, is what a factor we're also... I think he's stronger, but Arman's looked like a little tank recently. So, yeah. And Arman is the exact same size as Volk. Like, he just is. He's got long arms, fucking small. Arman is like the bigger version and tankier version of Volkanovski. But the issue is that he's very open. He doesn't follow game plans. Yeah. And Islam's got some good fucking pullback counters. And I think this fight does take place on the feet. I think I should have mentioned that earlier. It does take place on the feet. I'll take Islam. And another factor that no one's actually mentioning is that, like, his body kick is on Arman's liver side. He could get a liver kick finish here. I could definitely see that happening. Like, when Islam follows a game plan like he did in the Volkanovski fight, he is an amazing fighter. But whatever it is, when he's not fighting in, like, Abu Dhabi or, like, one of these Middle Eastern fucking countries, he does not perform as good. Like, the Volk fight was in Australia, which there was the hydration problem. And then the Poirier fight, I believe he had a staph infection. It did look sort of healed going into it, but he did have a staph infection. And he still was keeping up with Poirier. In moments, he was outboxing him. So, I've got to go with Islam. Now, really looking at it now with all my notes, like right here, I can't say anything other than Islam Makhachev. I think it'll be Arman will win the first 2 rounds. The last 3 rounds, Islam's going to edge him. And I think that's where he gets it. And I guess the Armenian's going to call it a robbery. Which, every close fight is now a robbery in this fucking modern age. So, yeah. Give me Islam Makhachev decision, 48-47, split decision, split. On to the co-main event of Merab Dvalishvili versus Umar Nurmagomedov. I think Merab is fucking shite, to be honest. I don't think he's good at all. I think he's severely overrated. I think only fake hardcores say he's actually good. His entire game plan is literally, listen to this, fail endless takedowns till the bell goes off, and hold you against the cage and knee you. And then he headbutted Peter Yan and acted like he got a fucking fair elbow or something on him. I think he's fucking shite, to be honest. I think he's terrible. I think he's probably the worst. He is the worst champion ever. He is just terrible. Like, he is funny, I'll give him that. He's more of a character than Umar. But he is just a shit. Like, his entire game plan is have more pace than the opponent. And not like a Colby Covington pace. Literally fail endless takedowns and be safe because of the grounded knee rule. It's fucking stupid. So, I guess I'll go through my notes anyway. I think you can tell who I'm going to go for. I'm choosing Umar via TKO in the second or third round via question mark quick, using front kicks which were exposed in the O'Malley fight, which was a really fucking close fight, by the way. No one talks about how close the O'Malley fight was. If you know how to score fights, you know that was not a domination. You know that was a very, very close fight. It all comes down to the first round, and what do you count more? The visual damage rule or the guillotine, which Merab wasn't really trying to choke him out with, was just holding it. You know, like he does with everything else. But anyways, back on Umar. He's got clean teep kicks. I watched all of his fights in UFC. He has got some nasty ass teep kicks. It's very good. He is a good kickboxer. Like, people forget this about Umar. He is a kickboxer. He's not a wrestler. He just comes from Khabib's camp. I think you can use that teep, maybe a few body kicks, some other kicks, and then move it, like flip it over to his head, and kick fucking the EPO monster's head off. So I'm gonna go with Umar via TKO in the second and third round. TKO, and as well, I need to just say this: I don't think Umar is gonna be cage hugged. If he is, nah. And it isn't going to happen. He's from Khabib's camp. They have mastered, like, the art of the cage wrestling sort of stuff. Like, if they're just as good on the wall, I can only guess they're just as good off the wall defending. So, I'm going to have to go with Umar Nurmagomedov. I think Merab's shite, as I've already previously stated. Also, why does Merab think that he's just this cool guy just trying to start a fight with everyone backstage? Like, he's trying to start a fight with Umar backstage. Like, wait a month, pal, you're fighting soon. That was in the last press conference. And then he was starting a fight with Peyton Talbott, which I'm all for beating up Peyton Talbott. I can't wait for the moment he gets beat. But, lad, Makhachev got cut from the sport for doing this. You know, you are just as bad, and hopefully when Umar beats you, you get kicked out of the sport as well, because you are a sport ruiner and you make this sport worse and worse and worse. On to the feature fight, Yuri Prochazka versus Jamal Hill, aka Autism versus Copium. I'm going to be honest, I think Yuri's chin's going to be gone now. He's taken way too much damage in his career. He got KO'd by Pereira not too long ago, and then he fought Rakic, took a lot of damage in that fight, then got KO'd again by Pereira, and he got dropped twice in that fight, I believe. I think he did anyway. I really want Yuri to win, because he said he's going to retire if he loses from his last fight. That's what he said anyway. I don't think he will, but if he does, that'll be sad. But I don't think you can have that chaos style against someone like Jamal Hill. He's got like a sniper left hand that everyone doesn't mention. Like, he is good. It is light heavyweight, so when I mean good, they are shit, but it is good for light heavyweight, if you get me. So, we all need to remember, I do think this fight will be over within 1 round. I think it'll be a KO in the first round, and I think Hill gets it. Yes, Yuri has bad defense, but so does Jamal. But his defense is like the slightest bit better, and that's why I'm choosing him. His footwork is fucking terrible though. How have you got to the UFC with that footwork? In moments your feet are crossed. You're not even looking at your opponent. I don't know. This is like day one beginner stuff. You go to a boxing gym or an MMA gym and you learn your striking there. The first thing they'll do, they'll get you to move around in your stance, throwing no punches and just staying balanced. That's the first thing they do. How is Jamal Hill in UFC, is a former champion and doesn't know crossing your feet is a bad thing to do? I don't get this. But I'm choosing Jamal Hill. I think he's severely overhated, by the way. I think he is a funny guy. Like, he is over. Like, I get the Pereira thing. Like, I get, like, it was a weird stoppage, but you threw the first punch, pal. You did. Yeah, I'm choosing Hill KO. Yuri is the type of guy where he needs confidence in his chin to barrage through you to KO you. He cannot do that now. He's been KO'd twice, and he's taken so much damage. I can't confidently choose him at all. I can't. I want to choose him. I want to choose like high functioning autism. I wouldn't be surprised if he's got it, but I hope he wins. But as well, I like Jamal Hill too, so it's like I want him to win too. It's one of them fights. I'm choosing Hill. I think Hill is the underdog. I'm not quite sure. Yeah. Give me Jamal Hill. First round KO or TKO. This is a very bad fight for Yuri, coming off all these KOs and all the damage. On to the next fight, which is Beneil Dariush versus Moicano. I am going to be going with Moicano. I think Beneil came off 2 KO losses to Oliveira and Almeida Tsarukyan. Nothing wrong with that. It is 2 KO losses to the best in the division. But the problem is that it's an injury as well. Not just 2 KOs, an injury too. I don't know. I don't think I can. I can't. It's not. I don't know. I can't choose Beneil Dariush. It's just I can't confidently choose you anymore. Your chin's probably gone. You never really had much of a chin to begin with. Not gonna lie. I do like Beneil Dariush. He's a family man fighter, one of them basic ones. But he is a good fighter. I do think the scrambling in this fight is going to be amazing. It's all just dependent, will Beneil come back himself? Because he has lost to the best in the division. He's not like he's been losing to like fucking Santini, Paddy Pimblett, and like these sort of people. Paddy Pimblett's actually good, to be fair. Like that's a bit disrespectful, but like they're not on his level. You get me? Moicano's on a good run. He'll have loads of confidence coming into this. He is very rangy as well. I noticed that when I was watching some tape. Beneil is still powerful, which everyone is forgetting about, and Moicano is kind of chinny. So if Beneil wasn't coming off 2 KO losses and an injury, I'd probably choose him. But I'm not going to because he's coming off 2 KO losses and an injury. So I'll go with Moicano via decision 29-28. I think that's the only right decision to make. Moving on to the main card opener of Kevin Holland versus Raya Davida. I cannot pronounce that. Raya Davida? I can't. No, I'm not pronouncing it. Ridder. Yeah. The one champion. I'm not choosing Kevin Holland no more. Kevin Holland is an actual shithouse. When he's grappling, he's a dead fish. Unless he's fighting Chimaev and knows he's going to get submitted and can't just lay there and just act like he doesn't care about losing. He gives himself excuses. He also faked a rib injury. And let me check. I don't think... When did Kevin Holland last fight? Because if he really broke his rib, he shouldn't be back this early. Let's be real. Yeah. Says right here, fucking... You lost to Roman Dolidze on the Pereira Roundtree card in the first round because you apparently broke your rib and you're back in January. Okay. I don't know how people believe this stuff, to be honest. Yeah. Holland quits. He can catch De Riddler coming in. And I wasn't impressed with De Riddler in his debut against Meerschaert. But I think at the highest level of MMA picks, I can't choose Kevin Holland to win fights unless it's against an absolute can. So I'll be taking De Riddler. Via. I've written sub in my notes, but I'm going to say a 29-28 decision. I don't think it'll be a submission. I kind of want it to be a submission, get Kevin Holland out of the sport because he just quits. But yeah. Moving on to the prelim headliner of Peyton Talbott versus Barcelcos. The modern MMA fans that call Barcelcos a can needs to be banned from watching pay-per-views because they only tune in for main events and co-main events. Fuck them. But anyway, I've got Peyton Talbott via second round KO, and I reckon he's going to struggle a bit with Barcelcos. He's a veteran, he knows what he's doing. He's literally, I think Weasel described him as the Walmart version of Jose Aldo. Which, you know what, I can see it. But because I'm from England, we're going to call it the Tesco meal deal version of Aldo. Barcelcos has a worrying chin coming into this one as well, I can't lie. Peyton Talbott's probably coming into this fight as well with like loads of confidence, just through KOing like practically all of his opponents. But his fight in UFC, yeah, his very first fight, he got taken down and essentially mauled, but then he got a KO right at the, like, I think second round it was. Maybe this will happen again with Barcelcos. But Peyton is coming off a really good, like, first 20 seconds KO. I'm going to go with Talbot, the op himself, and he'll definitely do some gay, zesty-ass dance after beating Barcelcos. Oh, get this guy out UFC, man. He's entertaining, but still, get him out. Get him out. On to the next fight of Almeida versus Sergey Spivak. I'm choosing Almeida. I think the only people that beat him are at the very top of heavyweight. This is a good test for him. This is like not quite top 5, but if you beat him, you are top 5 level, if you get me. So I'll take Jalen Almeida. I don't think no one beats him outside top 5. I definitely could see him getting it done. I don't think Spivak will get ragdolled though, like all of his other opponents, Jalen's Almeida's opponents. Yeah, I don't think Almeida will finish Spivak, so it'll just be a boring ass fucking decision. To be fair, Almeida's not that boring. His Derek Lewis fight was fucking boring as, but like other than that, they haven't been that boring. And you know what? The Curtis Blades fight was pretty boring as well. You know what? Yeah, he is a boring fighter. He is actually a boring fighter. He is worse. He's just as bad as me. He is the heavyweight Merab. That's what I'd describe him as. That's what I would describe him as. But I'm going with getting Almeida via 30-27 decision. Moving on to Bogdan Guskov versus Billy. Who the fuck is this? I had Johnny Walker down in my notes. Right. So Johnny Walker's been cancelled, I'm reckoning here. I don't know this Billy Elakana. So I'm going to have to go with Bogdan Guskov. I wish I came more prepared. Yeah, Bogdan Guskov is on a full training camp. He's probably just hopped in. Has he actually had any fights in UFC? I can't even bother to check. Just Bogdan Guskov. I'm choosing Bogdan Guskov. Simple as that, to be honest. Moving on to Grant Dawson versus Diego Ferreira. I think Diego Ferreira is actually good, you know. He had a good fight against Gamrot. Yeah, I'm taking Diego Ferreira, and Grant Dawson has probably the worst chin ever, just ever. Like, let's have a look at this. Right, Dawson is literally just a grappler. I'm looking at my notes, by the way. That's why I said look at this. So I'm looking at my notes, and it just says Dawson is just a grappler with nothing else. Striking is shite with an exclamation mark. Diego has great scrambles. Slept Michael Johnson. I cannot remember this happening, but I trust myself. He beat Rebecca, and Rebecca's just beat Orobly, and he beat Rebecca after getting dropped, and he almost beat Gamrot. Oh, he looked good against Gamrot. I don't think he almost beat him. Give me Diego Ferreira. I'm just imagining it in my head, and I think Diego Ferreira's going to knock him out and then become top 15. Moving on to the early prelim headliner of Zachary Reese versus Azamat Bekoev. Have I done notes for this fight? I have done notes. Essentially, I've just chose Bekov because of his name. Fair enough. He is also Dagestani. Right, yeah, I'll take him, even though I don't think Dagestani's are that good, and I think it's literally just Khabib's camp. I'm taking Bekov, if that's even his name. Moving on to SHITBREAK. Moving on to Nakamura versus Gafurov. Is that it? This Nakamura guy, yeah, he's actually good. He's got good wrestling credentials. What have I got on my notes? I have written notes for these. I know I have. He is a 9-0 wrestler, and Gafurov is actually bad, I've put. So I'm just going to trust myself because I did watch all these fights. So I'll choose Nakamura. I don't mind. I think Nakamura is actually going to be an up-and-coming prospect. He has got slick striking too, which no one mentions. Like, he has pop on it. Yeah, I'll take Nakamura. I don't think this is even hard of a fight, to be fair. I think this is pretty obvious if you know how to watch fights properly. I'm just going to start skimming over these. I think these are the last two fights on the card. Ricky Turcios. I can't pronounce his names, man. Benoado Sopaj. Why has he got an Indian last name as an Albanian? I don't know. I've chosen Sopaj because Ricky is bad. Actually, I just remembered his last fight. You are fucking shit. Yeah, Sopaj is winning this. I have no doubt about this. And if he does lose, cut them both. They're both bottom feeders of the UFC. Moving on to the very first fight of the card. Ulanbekov versus Clayton Carpenter. Clayton Carpenter is good when he wants to be and shit most of the time. And I believe Ulanbekov is a part of Khabib's camp. So I'm going to be choosing him. I don't think that is even... I don't even think that's like a hard thing to do. If they're in Khabib's camp, you just choose them. It's what I did with Umar against Sanhagen. Because no matter what, they'll just get gifted a decision. So, yeah. I'll choose Ulanbekov. I do think he's a better fighter than Clayton. I do think he'll just do what he wants of him. Maybe even a submission. Yeah. This entire card is actually pretty good. Like, this is a good fight. This is a meh fight. This is a good fight. We know my opinions on this fight. This is a shite fight. Zachary Reese and Alzamat. I don't know this guy. Apparently he's good. I'll put that on my note. I don't remember watching him. Grant Dawson versus Ferreira. That'll be a good fight when Ferreira knocks him out cold. Bogdan Guskov and Billy Elakana. I don't know this one, but I know Bogdan Guskov is a very hard hitter. Hence why I'm choosing him, and he's coming on in short notice. Jayton Almeida will be a slugfest as always. Peyton Talbott will get a kill knockout and do some zesty ass dance, as already previously stated. Kevin Holland will quit. Beneil Dariush and Moicano will be a good fight to watch. Yuri Prochazka and Jamal Hill will be the finish of the night. I guarantee it. It's going to be a good scrap and one of them will get KO'd. Merab Dvalishvili versus Nurmagomedov is going to be... I think it'll be a slugfest, to be honest. I think it'll be a slugfest in like maybe in the third round. Umar will knock him out. Yeah. And we all know if it goes decision, Umar's getting the win. So, yeah, Merab needs a finish. Merab doesn't get finishes. He just holds you against the cage and fucking knees you like he did to Jose Aldo. Fuck this man. Fuck him. Hope he gets kicked from the UFC. And then we got Islam Makhachev versus Arman Tsarukyan. I've got a feeling it's going to be like Shavkat and Gary. Please don't be like that. Please be a good fight. Please be a good fight. I think it will be. I think it'll be mostly on the feet. And it'll be a decent striking fight. It gives me... You know what it gives me? It gives me Leon Edwards versus Usman 2 vibes. Which is going to be class if I chose Arman. But I don't think I will be choosing Arman. I'm not choosing Arman. Yeah. This card's really good. I'm going to count the shit fights on the card. Don't know this fight, so I'll count it as shit. Don't know this fight, and we know it's shit because it's a woman's fight. This will be a good fight. Shit fight. And this will be a slugfest, probably. It's part of Khabib's crew. So, there's like 4 fights that are shit on here. The rest of them are class. So, it's definitely a good fight. Yeah. Fight card. Comment your predictions of the entire card. And like the video. And maybe subscribe because I need to feed the dog. The dog needs feeding. Don't let my dog starve, please. It's a little shit anyway. I don't give a fuck about the dog.